So the Soundcore Space One Pro are a great pair of mid-tier ANC headphones that block out a lot of noise. They have a super long battery life and they have a fun bass-heavy sound signature. However, they aren't as pro as I'd expect because they are missing some fairly common features for mid-tier ANC headphones in 2024. But today we're going to see how the Soundcore Space One Pro stack up to the Bose QC headphones, which are high-tier, mid-tier ANC headphones. I really wouldn't call them premium because there are the Bose QC Ultras, but these are also a great pair of ANC headphones for commuters like the Space One Pro, but these are a lot more comfortable.
Regarding pricing, this is a big difference between these two headphones and it could be a deciding factor for some people. The Soundcore Space One Pro have a retail price of $200, but I do expect these headphones to eventually go on sale. Whereas the Bose QCs have a retail price of $350, but sometimes they like to go on sale for $250. Now, like I just said, I think price can be a deciding factor here for some people, but nonetheless, if you want to pick either of these two headphones up, they'll be linked down below, or you can always press on the YouTube shopping button. And if you want to further support the channel, pick up some merch. We have trucker hats, snapbacks, and shirts, and everything is printed on higher quality products, so they're gonna last you a good while. And by buying merch, that helps us produce more independent versus videos. Thank you to everyone who's bought a shirt or a hat, and let's get subscribed. So first, there's the case. Unfortunately, the Space One Pro come with a carrying pouch, and I find it very strange that these headphones have a carrying pouch because hardshell cases are very common for mid-tier ANC headphones like these. And with the Bose QCs, these come with a hardshell case. So this hardshell case is going to keep your headphones well protected if you have them in a cramped backpack. And I actually really like traveling with these headphones because their case has a small footprint and it is relatively thin. But then there are the headphones themselves. Now, both of these headphones have good build quality, but the Bose feel a lot more premium than the Space One Pro for various reasons. First off, whenever you handle the Space One Pro, you always feel a slight wobbling, whereas with the Bose, you don't. Tolerance on the Bose are a lot tighter as well, and the leatherette on the Bose feels a lot less plasticky and synthetic than the leatherette on the Space One Pro. But then there's also the fit of these headphones. The Bose are a lot more comfortable than the Space One Pro for various reasons. First off, the Bose have less clamping force than the Space One Pro, so they are looser fitting. Now, both of these headphones are big head approved, but if you want a looser fit, then you'll want to go with the Bose. But the firmer fit on the Space One Pro could be good for like the gym. But then there's also the weight on these headphones. The Space One Pro weigh in at 283 grams, which isn't bad, but it is a little above average for mid-tier ANC headphones, whereas the Bose QCs weigh in at 235 grams, which is a little below average. And with the QC's lighter weight, you don't feel these headphones shifting their weight around when you're walking around with them on, and they're also easier to forget that you're wearing them while you're at your desk or while in bed. But then there are also the ear pads on these headphones. So both of these ear pads have big diameters to them, so if you have larger ears, then they should have you covered. But the ear pads on the Bose are a lot deeper and spacious. So if your ears stick out a lot, then you might want to go with the Bose because the Space One Pro feel a lot more cramped by comparison. But also the ear pads on the Bose stay cooler for longer because they have less surface area coming in contact with your skin, and their foam padding doesn't collect heat as fast as the Space One Pros. So from a build quality and fit standpoint, the Bose QC headphones easily outmatch the Space One Pro here by a lot.
But when it comes to tech specs, that's a different story. The Bose QCs have an advertised battery life of 24 hours, which is fine, but I would like to see more. And you can't use these headphones with their ANC turned off, so you can't extend their battery life that way. Whereas with the Space One Pro, these have an advertised battery life of 40 hours with their active noise cancellation turned on, and with their active noise cancellation turned off, they can go for as long as 60 hours. So Bose is really lacking here. And when it comes to charging, both of these headphones charge via a USB-C port as they should, but these USB-C ports are strictly used for charging. You can't use them as a wired connection. But both of these headphones do have an audio jack, and they both come included with an audio cable, so you can use them with a wired connection that way, and you can use these headphones passively. And when it comes to Bluetooth connectivity, both of these headphones can be connected to two devices at the same time, regardless of ecosystem, so you can easily hot swap from one device to another, which is good if you're a power user with, let's say, a Windows PC and an iPhone. And when it comes to overall performance, both of these headphones have zero latency across the board when watching movies or videos on your phone, whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device. But when it comes to audio codecs, the Bose QCs have support for SBC and AAC, which is fine. Whereas with the Space One Pros, these have support for SBC, AAC, and LDAC, which is Sony's own in-house high-res audio codec. Just keep in mind that if you do want to use LDAC, you do have to be an Android user because iPhones top out at AAC. Also, if you do decide to use LDAC, then these headphones are only going to be able to be connected to one device at a time. And also, LDAC does take an additional toll on the battery life.
But with all that out of the way, let's talk about sound. Now, with both of these headphones, you can go into their apps and you can either select from a few pre-made EQs or you can make your own. But when it comes to performance, these headphones are very different from one another. Now, the Space One Pro are going to be a lot better suited for people that like a bass-heavy sound signature because these have a lot of resonance in their bass. They don't have a lot of kick, but their bass is mostly on the audible side. But the bass on these headphones can muddy the rest of your music, and these headphones don't have the best instrument separation. So these headphones can sound very close together, and you're mainly going to hear the bass and vocals on these headphones. Whereas with the Bose, these sound a lot more open because they have better instrument separation and the instrumentals have much better detail and clarity to them. However, these headphones don't have as much bass as the Space One Pro, and some people will complain that these headphones sound flat. Now, from a technical standpoint, the Bose are better because they sound more open and more natural, but if you want bass, then you'll want to go with the Space One Pro, but these can sound a little narrow.
And when it comes to media controls, both of these headphones are using physical buttons, which is fine because some people just prefer physical buttons, especially when you're flying. But what I do want to point out here is that neither of these two headphones have wear sensors, and I do feel that this is very odd because the base Space ones do have wear sensors, and given the Bose's price, wear sensors are very common for premium ANC headphones.
But now let's talk about the active noise cancellation on these headphones. Now, both of these headphones block out an impressive amount of noise, but so that you can see for yourself, we're going to go ahead and jump into the ANC test. So like you may have just seen, the Bose block out a little more noise than the Space One Pro, but regardless, the Space One Pro are very impressive given their price. However, the Bose QC's ANC is more impressive than the ANC on the Space One Pro because it's able to block out a little bit more noise across the board with less cabin pressure, which is great for just overall comfort. However, even though the Bose QC's ANC is good, keep in mind that these headphones don't have atmospheric pressure sensors, so their ANC isn't as effective if you're flying. And I'm just pointing this out because if you're planning on buying a pair of premium ANC headphones and you plan on flying a lot with them, then you might want to go with either the Sony 1000 XM5s or XM4s because their ANC is a lot more effective while flying than Bose's headphones. But then there's the Ambient mode mode on these headphones. Now, both of these ambient modes sound really natural, and with both, you can adjust how much noise these headphones let in. However, the microphone array on the Space One Pro do a better job of blocking out wind noise when walking outdoors. But Bose's ambient mode sounds more natural while outside because it's not trying to filter out unwanted noise like the Space One Pro, which end up sounding a little muffled. But one major feature the Space One Pro have over the Bose is Easy Chat, which works like this.
Hello there. So this is Easy Chat. Basically, when you start talking, these headphones will automatically lower the volume of the music and pump in all of the ambient sound around you so that you can quickly talk to someone without even to have to touch the headphones themselves. And Easy Chat actually works very fast. Now, these headphones will stay in this state for a preset determined amount of time, which you can adjust through the app. But unfortunately, you can't manually deactivate Easy Chat. You have to wait for it to go back to its normal state after you stop talking, like this. So Easy Chat is just like Sony's Speak to Chat, which you can find on their more premium ANC headphones like the XM4s and XM5s. And just like Speak to Chat when it first came out, Easy Chat is very easy to accidentally activate it. And also, since you can't manually cancel Easy Chat, you have to wait the full 5, 10, or 15 seconds for your headphones to go back to normal. So Easy Chat is a feature that I personally just don't use on the Space One Pro. But more importantly, neither of these two headphones have a conversation mode like with the base Space Ones, where you can manually activate Easy Chat by covering the left ear cup, and when you let go, the headphones will go back to normal again. And again, I think that it's a shame that neither of these two headphones have this type of feature, because it's especially useful when you're flying or when you're running around in an airport. But finally, here's the microphone test, and surprisingly, the microphone on the Bose QCs isn't the best out there, and if you watch the full review, you would actually see that this microphone is a downgrade from the Bose QC 45s. Because the microphone on the Soundcore Space One Pro does a much better job of focusing on your voice, and I feel that it has better clarity as well. And the microphone on the Space One Pro does a much better job of dealing with noise pollution, because right now this microphone is doing a great job of reducing all of this road noise. Because for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this road noise. But if we were to switch back over to the Soundcore Space One Pro, it is severely reduced. Whereas with the Bose QC headphones, these are not doing a good job of blocking out any of this road noise. And they also really struggle when it comes to blocking out chatter. Whereas the Soundcore Space One Pro does do a better job of dealing with the pattern. So overall, I think the microphone on the phones is decent enough to take phone calls with while in a flight room. But the Soundcore Space One Pro have the better overall systemic microphone here because it has better clarity and it does a better job of dealing with noise pollution, specifically road noise.
But with all that being said, the Soundcore Space One Pro give you a very big bang for your buck, and these have a much better sounding microphone than the Bose, and they have a much longer lasting battery life. However, the Bose QC headphones are still more refined, and they give you a better overall experience over the Space One Pro, and there are genuine reasons to upgrade to them. Mainly, there's the fit of these headphones. The Bose are a lot more comfortable because they're lighter, their ear cups are more spacious, their ear cups stay cooler for longer, and they have a looser fit. The Bose also have better sound quality because they have a better instrument separation. They also block out more noise with less cabin pressure, and they come included with a case. The Soundcore Space One Pro do a great job of keeping up with more premium ANC headphones, but the refinedness of headphones like the Bose QCs are reason to upgrade. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.